First, let's begin with this story where in the last few months, the national grid has collapsed several times, and just in the span of 3 days, the grid went down twice, leading to blackouts in parts of the country. The transmission company of Nigeria says the national grid experienced a disturbance at 11:29 on Thursday morning, caused by a sudden rise in frequency from 50.33 HZ to 5144 HZ. The TCN says recovery efforts began immediately and the Abuja Axis was restored within 28 minutes, and recovery is still ongoing in other parts. According to them, the frequency spike was caused by issues encountered at one of the TCN substations, which had to be shut down to prevent further complications. They are actively engaged in significant repair work on several critical transmission lines and substations. Well, it seems we keep repeating ourselves with regards to this matter of grid collapse. I was asking a question yesterday that this has become one too many, and I hope it is not sabotage, because this is the worst that we have experienced with regards to the matter of grid collapse, and I'm wondering, what happened then that is, what's really the issue, really? Is it that in this year alone, so many things, just remember there is something called the grid that has to be attacked at such consistency, and it's become really worrisome. How can we insulate the grid from all of these issues as much as possible? Yeah, just yesterday we were talking about how the ministry is saying that they have recommendations they are making to the federal government so as to address these issues. But in the process of having that conversation, it seems the grid was listening, and you say, you know what, let me do my worst again so that you understand what I'm talking about. But it's becoming embarrassing for the nation.
It is actually, and I had to go on social media yesterday. I had quite a huge laugh because many people were talking about it in a very, Nigerians are very comical way. I mean, some comments were like, the grid needs some drip. Some people say the way the light went off, it seems the drip has collapsed again, and that was when the breaking news happened. And it seems like we're losing count of the number of times that the grid is collapsing. So, I was talking to some of our producers yesterday, and someone like, it's no longer breaking news.
Of course,
grid collapse has become a norm. Has become a normal thing here, but it shouldn't be. We're taxpayers, right? These are the little things that we need: power supply, steady power supply, and so the government needs to understand that this constant grid collapse is affecting the economy in many ways that we actually understand. Now, people will have to deal with the fact that their foodstuff will spoil because there was no power to light up the freezer that will preserve the food and all of that. So it means that we're spending more and getting little. So
obviously, we are spending so much. Do you know how much fuel is? I'm even asking. A lot of persons. A lot of persons cannot afford to buy fuel to fuel their generators as it is now. I believe that government should be looking at diversifying the way we generate power. Talking about solar, we have sun. What are we doing with that? And then we
have the wind turbine.
We have the wind and all of it, so that people can have an array of options that they can use to, generate power as it is. Because it's becoming, you are seeing some person saying, you know what, I'm getting off the grid. I'll provide power for myself, whichever way. You see them get solar panels and just whichever the cost, because they cannot continue like this. You talked about the fact that food items get spoiled in the fridge as well. Whichever way you look to preserve it. I was listening to the radio this morning, and someone was lamenting everything his wife bought got spoiled in the fridge. Now, who pays for that?
That's it. That's why I say
so you have spent so much
and getting little.
You budgeted a certain amount to buy food items
for the month,
and then all of a sudden there's a matter of grid collapse, it's spoiled, and then you are looking for how to get money again to buy these food items?
And
Because you must eat.
And I think state governments as well should take up this challenge, you know.
To generate power
for themselves, you know. States should be able to generate power for themselves so that it's easier on the national grid. This frequent collapse is not about to stop because these equipments are obsolete. We haven't upgraded them. We haven't maintained the ones we have. So
and it's not something we can do
immediately. We need to take time. And by the time we're trying to do that, we might have a lot of states not having power. If
there is a state that has they don't have power for the past 3 months. Yes.
So you can understand the situation they would have been.
You saw what happened in the north?
In the north, when about 17 states didn't have. Online, we had several videos of a cold room owner who was throwing away fishes and chickens, frozen chickens that have spoiled already.
That's someone's business.
That's someone's business. So you can imagine the ripple effect on the economy. How will they survive? How will they be able to come back as a business? It's going to be tough. So states also take up the challenge.
When getting loans now.
At high interest rates.
Yes, double digits.
Double digits. And so when you get the loans, you have to ensure that the business can service the loans every month or else you get into trouble.
And so the person working for that person, for instance,
needs salary.
Of course, the person will be sacked as it is because there's
no
business.
Yes, there's a ripple effect.
So someone has lost their job because the grid collapsed. So we need to break this down for perhaps government to really understand that something needs to be done as quickly as possible.
It's not about ban
to
A,
addressing
ban C,
the issue. It is the ripple effect on the citizens, the economy, and how it is painting us in a bad light out there. Because those who might want to invest might wonder, if you do not have the structure in place, how do I invest?
That's it.
That's a big question. We'll leave it there now and quickly bring you the news update.